Okay, let's see how long I can keep my hair down in this video. I'll probably be putting it up in a few minutes. We'll see. I just washed it, which is why it looks like unstyled, because it is. So, also that's my dog. Hi, I'm Thea. Welcome back, or welcome to my channel. Today I am doing a video that I'm very excited for, but that I feel like is also gonna get me in trouble. Talking about The Summer I Turned Pretty. The series and the show. The books and the show. They're both series. I have a lot of opinions about this, and I finished the books recently, as in within the past like month, I think. And no series before has made me so angry to the point where I was crying. Like, I was literally sobbing because I was so frustrated, and I was so like led astray. I felt like I had been personally victimized by Jenny Han, and I have never in my life been so angry at fictional characters before. This is gonna be a long video. I have a lot to say, and it's all just like rants. Like, this is just gonna be me ranting about this series. Mostly the books. I like the show. I don't like the books. I have my computer right here because I have like an entire Goodreads review that's like a, you know, a 10,000 word essay. So if I look over here, it's just because I have like a lot of my points written down, so I don't want to just like speak randomly. I want to have some semblance of organization in this video. Disclaimer, I'm going to be talking shit about these books. So if you are like a defender of these books or the characters, that's fine. But this is probably not the video for you, because I don't have many nice things to say about anything. There are a few things that I will talk about that I liked. But just so if you do get like offended, which I totally get it. Like, I can't watch videos of people shitting on my favorite things either. So if you do feel that way, that's fine. Bye. I'll see you later. I don't have anything nice to say about these books, and I'm going to say something. I'm gonna say a lot of things. None of them really nice though. It's gonna be a rough watch if you're like a huge defender of these books. So anyway, these books were not part of my childhood like they were for so many others. I only heard about these books, like when the series was coming out. I ordered the books right away, immediately. I ordered all 3 of them. I was like, I'm gonna read the books before I get, you know, I as a reader, like an avid reader myself, I like to read the books first before I watch any adaptation of it, because I just feel like it's respectful to like the source material and stuff. So, you know, I actually have two copies of the first book. Again, I ordered this copy without having read this book series yet, because I love the actors. So I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna order this one. And of course now I kind of regret it, because I was like, I don't really want 2 copies of this book. I don't even want one. I don't even want 1 copy. But yeah, so I originally started reading this book like before the series came out last year. And I could not get through it. I got maybe halfway and I was like, this is horrible. This is atrocious. This makes me want to die. So I was like, okay, you know, it's fine. I ended up watching the show, loved the show, loved it. I think the show is so well done. And then I was like, you know, like, and then I didn't pick up this book for like months after. And I was like, you know, I really should probably finish. But this book took me months to get through. And mind you, it's like a really easy YA read. Like, it's not that it was like a difficult read for me. Like, it's not hard. It's just that I couldn't take it. It was so cringy and annoying. And there was nothing I liked about it. And let me just also say something. I have been in a very similar situation to Belly in the first book. So call me jaded. I probably am. I fully admit that, actually. I'm fully jaded. So not only do I not like the books, I also feel like I have more authority to talk about them because I have been in literally the same exact situation, actually, just in real life, so it didn't end well, basically. Like, basically it ended badly because it wasn't fictional. Because I have been in Belly's situation, I do feel protective over her, even though I can't stand her. So if you're a Conrad apologist also, this is not gonna be a fun video for you because I have a lot to say about that boy and none of it's really good. It's like really, really broken up. I'm so sorry. I have a lot to say and I just don't really know how to say it. I never like filmed a video like this. Also, like I'm not one of those like commentary YouTube channels, so I don't have like the visuals. I don't know what I'm doing, okay? So I'm so sorry. First of all, I just don't like the writing. And this is really interesting because I love a series To All the Boys. I love that series. I gave that series 5 stars. I love the first movie. Like, I get that series. To be fair, she did write this series earlier. So maybe, you know, she grew as a writer within that time. I'm not sure. Or maybe it's just like different, I don't know, like the different plot and stuff she's better with. I don't know. How can I like give this series 1 star, like 2 stars, and then the other one give 5 stars? I don't understand. But this writing is so cringy and it's so bad. It's like, I don't know. Like, there are just moments where I'm just like, and again, maybe it's because Belly is supposed to be 15 in this book. So, you know, but like even, and I was cringy at 15, yeah, but like I just, it was just like an excessive amount. Like I understand that reading YA books, you get the cringiness. I get that. Like, that comes with the territory. And in this book, it's just excessively so, to the point where it's like I can't, like I have to like stop reading. So I'm like, this is so secondhand embarrassment level for me. Like I can't do this. And it makes it, again, not enjoyable to read because I'm constantly being like, ew, like what is this? Like I can't. And normally I can get through bad writing if I like the story, but I don't like the story. So it's really, I mean, we're 0 for 2 here. I think the plot itself is like, you know, like it's a good plot for like a book. Like, you know, like you childhood friends, you grow up with these older guys, and then, you know, one summer everything changes, and I get that. That's like that, again, I've been through that. I understand that. That's like I think that's something that a lot of people would, that's a really good self-insert story, you know, like I feel like a lot of people would love for that to be them. So the story itself is at least in the first book, it's fine. Second book and the third book get a bit more challenging for me personally. But in the first book, I'm like, this is really simple story, easy to follow, right? Like, no, whatever. Then come the characters, and I don't like any of them. I don't like any of them. So I'm sorry if I keep glancing over here. It's just that I have like a bunch of stuff written about the characters, and I don't want to just like, I don't want to just say stuff, and I have it written down. Okay, so Belly obviously is the main character, Isabel, right? Belly. This is book Belly, by the way. Just separate those two because they're different characters, okay? Because they're very actually different. In the show, I have to say, the way that Lola Tongue plays Belly, I can't hate her because I think Lola Tongue does such a good job. She's so talented. She needs to be an it girl. I need her to be an it girl in the acting industry because I think she's a very talented actor. The way that Lola plays Belly makes me like her, even though I hate her in the books, but I think the way that Lola like plays her, I'm like, okay, like I think that she just plays her so well. I don't know. Anyway, but in the books, she's insufferable. She's one of the worst main characters I've ever had to suffer through. And the worst thing is that it's in first person, so it's like even worse. Like it's like I can't even like, it's not even like third person where I can like kind of distance myself a little bit because it's like, okay, like whatever. I get this bitch's thoughts, okay? Like I get her full thoughts. I don't like her thoughts. I don't like her. I don't like her brain. I don't like being in her brain. I don't like it. She's constantly complaining about everything. That's the main thing. She's constantly being like, oh, you know, like this, it's whatever. And I get it, okay? Like I get it. I complain too, okay? But it's like at some point you have to go and fix the problems. You can't just sit around and talk about them all the time. You know, I wait for things to happen to me. I don't go out and do things. But I also recognize that, where she's just like, oh, you know, like everything should be blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, girl, okay, if things are that bad for you, you have to like go out and do some stuff. You have to take life by like the whatever the expression is, like by the handles, and you have to go. You can't just sit and complain about it. And if you are going to do that, then don't make me read it. All this being said, I'm very fiercely loyal to her because I think that she deserves much better than the Fisher boys. I don't like either Fisher boy, by the way. We'll get into that later. I hate them both. And I think that she needs to get far away from that entire family. I'll get into the ships later. The ships are like the main part of the story. I'll get into that later. But anyway, I think that she deserves way better than the Fisher boys. And I want her never to speak to those boys ever again because they are toxic for her. They are not good for her mental health. They keep her stuck in the past and stuck on this loop of just, they keep her stuck in this loop. They keep pulling her back. I need her to do things differently. She gave up her entire life for these boys. I want to see her do more with her life. She's capable of doing more with her life, and I want to see her do that. I am rooting for her, even though I cannot stand her. I'm rooting for her heavily because I feel, again, one thing about me is that if I hate all the characters, I will still defend the girls till the day I die. I don't care. Get away from her. To the boys, to the Fisher boys, get away from her. Get a job. Stay away from her. What are you doing? I need her to transfer colleges, maybe a college in Europe, maybe Australia, somewhere far away, somewhere far, far away. Try out some new things. Try some new lifestyles. Try yoga. You know, try a journalism course. I don't know. Do something else, because I can't have you be near these boys, because these boys are toxic for your heart, sweetheart. They are bad for you. And I get the toxic relationship thing. I understand that that's appealing for some people, but I think, okay, we're gonna get into Conrad now, because the way that Conrad treats her is ridiculous. It's horrible. Conrad is like the biggest character that everyone defends, right? That's like everyone's favorite character. Everyone loves him. I get it. I understand. Conrad has been through a lot of shit in his life that no child, no adult, no one should have to go through. I feel for him. I understand that, especially that he's not in therapy, you know, he doesn't really have any support systems in place, which makes it even worse. You know, he doesn't have anyone he can really talk about most of the stuff that's going on. Like, you know, his mother's cancer, he can't talk to his mother about it because she doesn't want him to know, which is a whole whatever. He can't talk to his brother about it because his brother doesn't know. He can't talk to his best friends about it because they don't know. He can't talk to anyone about it. He can't let anyone know that he knows. Also, his father's cheating. He also can't let anyone know this. So those are two humongous secrets that I would never wish upon anyone to have to keep, you know, or to deal with on their own. So I'm very sympathetic and I'm very empathetic towards his struggles. That being said, I don't excuse his actions, because his actions are ridiculous and they are hurtful and they are horrible. I think there definitely were scenes in the books where he was obviously being very sweet to Belly, and you know, I understood and I really felt that I was sold his affection towards her. I was like, you know, I get this, like I get that he feels this way about her. But those scenes were far overshadowed by the many, many, many more scenes of him being an ass. And again, I understand. I don't want people to say like that I'm not, that like, you know, I don't understand trauma. I understand trauma, okay? I fully get being traumatized by stuff and you know, having to carry this burden with you, especially not being able to, especially not having any, you know, outlets, like no therapy, no, having to carry burdens by yourself is something that is so horrible. And I would never wish it on anyone, not even a fictional character. Please, I don't want the Conrad defenders to come writing me essays in the comments. I understand why everyone likes him. I get it. But I think, again, because I've been Belly before. And I've had someone treat me the way Conrad treats her, and that's unacceptable. I think, again, trauma and mental illness, those are all explanations, but they're not excuses. And you know, I've been very deeply struggling. Again, my mom was not died from cancer. You know, my dad hasn't cheated, but I've been through a lot of shit as well, and I've been really deeply struggling, but I've still been able to be a kind of person. And I think that's the main thing with Conrad, is that he can't do that. And to me, it's just, again, I'm not saying that you can't be upset and you can't be hurting. And again, those, as human beings, those emotions definitely do and will come out to other people, whether you want them to or not. Sometimes it's just the way that it is. People are not perfect. You know, that people make mistakes and they will be angry at people when it's not their fault. Like, I understand that whole concept. But I think that he's just treated Belly so consistently awful for 3 books. And then the last 30 pages of this book, it's like, oh, just kidding. I love you. I'd be like, what do you mean you love me? You haven't shown me that in the past years of, like, because this book is like a couple years ahead of the other ones. Like, you haven't showed me that in years. Like, what are you talking about? I don't believe you. Sorry. Like, I'm so sorry. Because you're just saying these words. You're not actually doing anything that's shown me that you actually care about me in any sort of sense. We're going to need to start using the word emotionally manipulated, because that's what Conrad did to Belly throughout the books. Please, I will die on this hill. Yes, he emotionally manipulated her for 3 books. He, you know, he told her that he loved her and cared about her. Well, first of all, he was mean to her, you know, in this first book. For like most of it, he, you know, ignored her. And again, he was going through stuff. I understand that. But then in the last couple pages of the book, he's like, oh my God, like, I love you. And she's just like, and of course, this bitch being so in love, just, of course, that's all that she wanted to hear her entire life. Me, my Conrad, has done that to me. Ignored me the entire summer, and then all of a sudden was like, wait, and all of a sudden when they couldn't get with whoever, I'm not gonna get into my story that much. But, you know, I've had someone ignore me the whole summer and then all of a sudden be like, wait, like, I like you. And then I'm just like, of course, me being so in love, I'm just like, yay, I won. You didn't, baby. You lost. That means you lost. When she called him out in this book, like that scene where she was like, you can't, I'm trying to find the exact moment when this happened. So on page 242 of the 3rd book, she says, you brought up all that the weekend of my wedding and now you want me to just forget it? You're sick. Don't you get that you can't just play with people like that? People hate Jeremiah, but Jeremiah, like, he's whatever. Like, he isn't even whatever. Conrad is one that makes me the most mad because it's like he just emotionally manipulated her the entire time. And especially in that scene where he like confesses his love for her the night before her wedding to his brother. And then when she says no in the morning, he's just like, I was super drunk, like I forgot. Like I didn't even know what I said, so can we just forget about it? And she's just like, no, what? And I was like, yes, I was rooting for her so hard. I was like, finally, you have a backbone, bitch, finally. And then all of a sudden he's just like, so she calls him out on that, and then he's like, what do you want from me? And she's like, for you not to like just lie. And he's like, well, I was embarrassed. I'm like, okay, but that was your choice to confess your feelings towards her. She owed you nothing. Oh my God. Again, I'm getting angry because it's like she owed him nothing at that point in her life. She was about to get married to his brother, whether she wanted to or not, but she was going to. And then he confesses his love to her. And then she's like, no. And he's like, well, I was just kidding. And she's like, what is wrong with you? And he's like, what do you expect me to do? And she's like, not do that. What do you mean? Oh my God, what do you mean? You fucking idiot. Like, physically, it makes me ill. I'm like, what are you talking about? What is wrong with you? Like, he's the worst. And like, he just gave her all this love and then kept taking it away from her. Just right when she got used to feeling loved by him, he took it away from her. And of course, yeah, that was he was lying, but still. And literally, it's like, I understand that he was scared to feel that way. I understand being scared of like love, feeling like you don't deserve it. I understand that. I feel I don't deserve love either. You know, that's a battle that I've had my entire life. But that's not an excuse to treat someone else horribly, especially when you know they love you. That's the worst part, is that he knew Belly loved him so much, and he knew she was in love with him. He knew that, and he still treated her like that because he knew that he could. He knew that he could treat her like that, and he knew that she would keep coming back to him because she loved him her entire life. Now that we've gotten past my unpopular Conrad opinions, we're gonna get to my super unpopular Jeremiah opinions. He's a better brother. Let's talk about it. Walk with me, okay? Walk with me. Jeremiah, first of all, yes, he's just annoying, in my opinion. Like, yes, that cringiness that he has, yes, it's there. We're all aware of it. We all know about it. He was better than Conrad. And I say this because, so everyone talks about how he cheated on her in the 3rd book, right? Which, obviously, fuck him. But, like, this is not me trying to defend this behavior, but I want to give some context for it, because before I read this book, I was on Twitter and people were talking about, like, you know, they're like, you know, people were like, the Conrad defenders were talking about how Jeremiah cheated and like whatever. They're like, you know, like, the Conrad defenders hate Jeremiah, and so they're talking about that, and I was like, oh my God, like, yeah, he cheats. So I was fully prepared for that when I read this book, for him cheating and being a whole thing. And also I knew that he proposed right after he cheated, which, ew. Anyway, no one talked about how they were broken up. And before you say anything, I know that it wasn't a real breakup to Belly, but did you ever think that it might have been to Jeremiah? And again, this is not me defending him. I'm not saying this. I am defending him, I guess, but I'm not defending him in the sense where I'm like, he's I want him for Belly. I think everyone sucks, okay? Please take this with a grain of salt because everyone sucks in this book. I don't like anybody. I don't like anyone. What I expected was that, like, she literally caught him in bed with someone else and then he proposed to her. That's not the way it was at all. They were broken up for a week. And yes, again, I know that's not real, but that's not as bad as everyone made it sound. People made it sound way worse than it was. And I was like, okay, this is not even I mean, yes, I don't think what he did was as bad as everyone says it was. I think the way that Conrad treated Belly was way worse. Jeremiah treated Belly wonderfully. They're all, apparently. Again, we don't know. We just kind of skipped their relationship. I don't fucking know. I also don't like the time jump between these two books. I think I understand why, but I don't like it. I think it just, to me, it's like creates like, this is like a different story than these two. Like, I don't know. I think based off of just the littlest part of the relationship that we know about in this book, it seems like he treated her very well. Much better than Conrad. Like, at least Jeremiah admitted and knew he was in love with her, and like, you know, she's literally said that in the book. She's like, he treats me so well. Like, she said that exact thing pretty much. She's probably the most controversial opinion that I have. I don't know. They're all really bad. I have really unpopular opinions, I feel like. But one of the worst opinions that I have, I think, that no one acknowledges, which I'm kind of surprised at. And again, I think it's maybe because people don't recognize this as a form of cheating. But Belly emotionally cheated on Jeremiah with Conrad. I would like to talk about it. Before you write your scathing comments, just walk with me a little bit, because I have a point, and even if you don't agree with it, just wait for me to make my point, please. Okay, please. So there's this moment in the book where she talks about this moment that she had with Conrad during Christmas, where she was like at Cousins and she sees Conrad there and she's like, I didn't think that you would be here, like whatever. She falls. This is on page 42 if you like have the book, so you want to like find what I'm talking about. She falls and then he like really badly, I guess. She hits her head super hard. And then he finds her and is like, are you okay? And then he like, you know, picks her up and like puts her on like, I don't know, somewhere. And then I guess he gets her Advil. There's one moment, this is on page 44 now, where she's like, looking up at him, I had this sudden thought. Oh my God, I still love you. I thought my feelings for Conrad were safely tucked away like my old rollerblades and a little gold watch my dad bought me when I first learned how to tell time. But just because you bury something doesn't mean that it stops existing. Maybe that's how it was with all first loves. They own a little piece of your heart always. They share this very intimate moment. To me, that's emotionally cheating. In my opinion, I way more have someone have sex with a random person when they're drunk than emotionally cheat on me, because emotionally cheating means it's more, because having sex with someone that, I mean, at least to me, and again, this is just my opinion, this is totally just my opinion. If I was in Jeremiah's situation, I'd much rather have had someone just like have sex with a random person when they're drunk and never know their name or whatever than emotionally cheat with someone and have like a connection with someone else. Because that's what it was. It was that connection, that spark, that connection between her and Conrad when she was with Jeremiah, and then she never told him about it. To me, that's way worse. And again, Jeremiah calls her out on this in this book too. On page 257, he says, if it was nothing, you would have told me about it. Instead, you kept it a secret. After all that stuff you said to me about trust, you kept that to yourself. I felt like shit for what I did with Lacey, and you and I weren't even together when it happened. I was waiting for you to tell me, and you never did. To me, that's worse. Again, this is my opinion. If you have different opinions, it's fine. And I would much rather have someone just cheat on me physically, have sex with someone else, or make out with someone else, whatever, than to share a very, very intimate moment where you realize you still love someone. Are you kidding me? What? That would destroy me. So that's I think my biggest unpopular opinion is that, like, I think what she did to Jeremiah was actually worse than what he did to her. That's my opinion about Jeremiah as a character. Like, yeah, he sucks, he's annoying, but they all suck. But I think that he honestly, I feel bad for him, because I feel like he really did care about Belly. He really did love her, and he really did, you know, again, he was willing to marry her even after all this shit happened. After everyone finds out everything about everything. He says, he will let you down because that's what he does. That's who he is. This is about Conrad. I would remember the words Jeremiah said and the way he looked at me when he said them, with pity and with bitterness. I hated myself for being the one who made him bitter, because that was one thing he'd never been. I still love you, he said, and the way he said it, I knew that if I wanted him to, he would still marry me, even after everything that had happened. Conrad wouldn't have done that. Again, unpopular opinion, I know, but Jeremiah loved Belly more. It's just that she loved Conrad more, so of course it was different. Anyway, next, Taylor. I don't have much to say about her. She sucked in the first 2 books. In the third book, I think she's really good, which no one talks about. Belly tells Taylor about Jeremiah cheating, and then Taylor says, you know, like, I would never do that, take him back, but like, Jeremiah's not just some guy. Don't get it twisted. I hate him to death right now. He effed up in a colossal way. He'll never be just some guy to you. That's a fact. Like, I like that because it showed me real growth on her part. You can't fix people. You can't save people from things. Like, you have to just be a good friend. And sometimes that is recognizing that they have to make decisions by themselves. Anyway, so I actually liked her in the third book a lot. The first 2 books, yeah, she's just, it's weird. So Stephen, barely a character. And he literally, because I mean, to be fair, they'll go to college, but like, still, he's not, like, I can't remember one thing about him in the books. I'm just like, is Stephen in the room with us right now? Because I don't see him. So Laurel and Susanna. The TV show, the mom's like main characters. In the books, they're definitely like secondary characters. As in like they don't have their own, which makes sense because obviously it's from Belly's point of view. So obviously Belly's not spending all this time with her parent, like with the moms. Like, I get it. Their friendship is like supposed to be the core force, like that sets everything in motion, but I feel like I know nothing about it. And again, that could be because it's from Belly's perspective. So obviously Belly maybe doesn't know, but I wish somehow like there was a little more explanation as to why their friendship is so you know, so close, and the way that it is. I wish I knew more about their friendships. I feel like I know nothing about them in the books. Obviously in the show, it's more like omniscient. I wish there was more about, I wish I understood more about why this friendship is so important, and why, like, you know, keeping the relationship with the Fisher family when past Susanna's death is so important. You know, like, I just feel like I don't know that enough in the books, and again, I know that from the show, but I wish the books had talked about that more, so I feel like I could really understand it. So Susanna, again, everyone loves Susanna. I don't. I'm not a Tin Man. Okay, I have feelings. Like, of course it's really, really sad that she died from cancer. And of course it's really, really sad that she has cancer and that she's going through this and the whole whatever. That's so fucking devastating. It's the worst thing ever. Like, I can't even imagine. Don't like her very much. I fully admit that this is my own, like, jaded, biased feeling. Because the situation that I was in with when I was, like, Belly and, you know, this whole situation that reminds me of this first book, the mom of my Conrad was very much like Susanna, and I did not like it. Susanna is a boy mom, and I mean capital B, capital M. And if you know what I'm talking about, then I'm sorry, but if you don't, I'll explain it to you. Basically, a boy mom is a mom who's like so obsessed with her boys. Like, she has to have boys. She can't have a girl. If she has a girl, she's not a boy mom. But she has to have, like, you know, 1 or more boys, only boys. And she's very much, like, really, really invested in their lives. And boys are they're so talented and they're so beautiful and perfect. Look at my baby infant children. And they're like 21. You have a weird obsession with your children. Please leave me out of it. And it's to the point where, like, if her children do something wrong, the boy mom will not acknowledge it. They can't do any wrong in her eyes. And that's what is the situation. My problem with Susanna is that she doesn't recognize how much of assholes her children are. And also, and again, because I was in the situation, I can speak about this. Also, you know, Susanna always wanted one of her boys to marry Belly. She's like, you know, Belly, you're gonna be a Fisher. Like, you're gonna marry my children. I was the same way with my situation. The mom of the kid that I liked, she was like, I know, if I could, like, I would have, you guys would be married right now. Like, she wanted us to be together so badly. And it felt disrespectful because both me and Belly and I, we both deserved better. And the mom would not acknowledge that. A mother who, if Susanna really truly, and again, I think that she does care about Belly. I think that she very much does. And I don't think that she realizes that she's doing this. Most boy moms don't realize this. I think if Susanna really took a look at, if she tried to put a critical eye on her children, she would see that Belly, if she really truly cared about Belly would deserve better. I'm trying to think, like, if I had a son who was an asshole for whatever reason, I would hope they wouldn't be. But sometimes you can't fucking help it. Sometimes it's just, they go to school and they just turn assholey. I don't know. And if, you know, if he had a girlfriend, like, I'm the kind of, or a boyfriend, whatever, if he had someone else, I would tell that person if my son was a douche. I'd be like, you know what, you deserve better. Like, my son is an asshole. And I would say that. And I feel like Susanna can't realize that. It's very selfish of Susanna to almost guilt Belly into being part of this family. Like, you know, it's her dying wish that she would marry one of her sons. I would carry so much guilt around that. I'd be like, okay, I have to marry one of them now because this is her fucking dying wish for me, and like she's never wanted anything else. Like, I would feel so guilty about that. Like, I'd be like, what if, like, I have to marry one of them now? Like, there's no choice. I don't think that she meant to do this. Like, it wasn't she wasn't purposely trying to be like, I'm gonna have Belly marry my children. Like, but I do think that she has a sort of like rose-colored glasses on when it comes to her children. And same thing that happened with my situation. And I just feel like Belly deserves better. And I feel like if Susanna truly cared about Belly and like was able to like separate her son, her love for her children and like that thing, and just focus on her love for Belly independently, she would see that Belly deserves better and she would want that for her. She'd want better for her. And I don't hate her. I just think that, like, it's just that everyone talks about her so much on Twitter. I don't feel the same way about her. And I just think that's really unfair for her to do that to Belly, because I think that it's just Belly deserves a lot better. So I'm gonna talk about the ships, just Belly Conrad and Belly Jeremiah. So, okay. So I kind of talked about my opinion already about them a little bit. Age gap. Yep, I know. I hear everyone complaining about how it's only 2 years, and I hear the comments, and I hear the Twitter people, and I hear the TikTok, I hear everything. I hear you guys bitching at me still. And again, I said, because I was in the situation. Exactly 2 year age gap. Yes, exactly. I just think it's weird that Conrad is full fucking in Brown, at Brown College, literally in college freshman, dating a junior in high school. I don't think that it's like predatory necessarily. I just think it's like, why? What? I just don't, like, I'm going into my freshman year of college in a month. I'm going to college. I can't imagine having any interest in a junior in high school. And again, I know that's different because they're childhood friends, so it's like, of course, it's different. I get that. But I've had childhood friends and like whatever, family friends that have been a few years younger, and to me, they're immature. They're cute, and I love anyone younger than me is cute, so don't take it personally. You know, I think I have friends, like I have friends from projects that I've done in school who are, you know, juniors and sophomores in high school, whatever. I just don't, it's, to me, I'm just like, you guys are children. Like, even though only 2 years apart, you guys are still children to me. And that's, I don't know. And I think it's weird. I haven't quite been in the same situation. So it's like, you can't find anyone your own age. It kind of seems weird to me that you are fully in college, obsessing over someone who has 2 years of high school left. Like, it's not that I think that it's like predatory. I don't think that he's being predatory towards her. I just think it's like, it's a weird way of just holding on to like, I don't know. I just think it's a bit bizarre. It's not like, so Conrad's supposed to be, when they first get together, it's in the first book, it's the summer, he goes to college in the fall. They said it they're very explicit about that. In the second book, which takes place like that school year, he's a freshman in college and she's in junior high school, so that's how I know that obviously the first book takes place the summer beforehand. So he's supposed to be my age, 18, going into college in like a month, and she's supposed to be 15, turning 16. To me, it's weird. And again, I know that I think I also have very strong opinions about age gap. Like, I'm very much against age gap relationships unless both parties are over 25. Otherwise I think it's fucking weird. And yes, I fully admit that that's probably an unpopular opinion as well. Like, most people probably are okay with it. But I think, again, it's because I know what it's like to be the younger one and to be to feel so cool at dating someone who's older. And again, I don't think that it's not that Conrad like preyed on her, groomed her. It's not that. I just think that she deserves someone who's closer to her place in life. Like, they could have made him 1 year younger. I don't know. Or 1 year older. I don't know. But also, like, what person in college is gonna want to go back to their hometown, or like go back to, I guess not from the same town, but like go back to like high school, you know, just to go to a junior prom? Please, you cannot pay me enough money. You cannot pay me enough money to do that. It's because I've been in a situation with someone who was 18 when I was 15. So my ex was actually 1 year younger, but it was still weird to me. I mean, back in it now, I'm like, why were you like, what? Anyway, the whole fucking video has been unpopular opinions, but I fully believe that Conrad, oh, so this is the Jolly Rancher. I fully believe that Conrad got with Belly because he knew that she'd be easy. I don't mean easy in bed. I mean that he knew that she loved him so much and that he would get that affection that he so desperately wanted, that he wasn't getting. He was gonna get that reassurance. He wasn't gonna get, she wasn't gonna be like, you know, someone his age, someone who doesn't know him as well, who like will not take his bullshit. Belly took his bullshit. She would take his bullshit, and she did take his bullshit because she obviously cared about him. And so I think that's also one of the reasons why he got with her, because to me, I just don't buy that he's as in love with her as she is with him. I know that the whole point is he's supposed to be that in love with her, but I don't buy it, to me personally. It seems like he was going through a lot. Well, he was going through a lot. And he knew that Belly would give him that love that he so desperately wanted. Because the whole thing is Connor just doesn't feel like enough. He doesn't feel, you know, he has all these secrets he's kept keeping for people. He puts everyone else supposedly in front of him. He wanted someone who would do that, would treat him the way that he treats other people, or he treats his mom, or whatever. And I think Belly gave him that. Of course she did. She loved him. In the second book, she was the only one who could take him down from the edge. A 16-year-old child was the only one who could take this freshman in college, 18 going on 19-year-old. Only one who could talk him down from whatever he was going through. That's unhealthy. In any situation that'd be unhealthy. Even if they were the same age, it'd still be unhealthy if like you were if you were the only person who could, like, you know, like, you're the only one who can save him. Like, Jeremiah literally says, he's like, I want you to come with me because you're the only one who can like talk to Conrad right now. You're the only one he'll listen to. That's unhealthy. That is weird. Therapy for both of you, for everyone, please. I will pay for everyone's therapy in this book. I don't care. Belly was the only one who showed Conrad that unconditional love he wanted, and so therefore she's the only one who could save him. Please, that's so much pressure to put on a child. And even if Belly claims that she wanted that pressure, or she whatever, that's not fair to her. That's not fair to her. She shouldn't have to put her life on hold to come and save him because he can't do it himself. At any age, let alone being in high school and being a child and being underage, let alone that. It's actually, I think it's honestly really problematic because these books are supposed to be YA, meaning they're meant to be read by middle schoolers. And then she's showing this kind of example, and this is supposed to be, and you know, the Conrad and Belly's relationship is supposed to be like what you want. This is supposed to be like the relationship of the books, like the one that you want, the one that you're supposed to want, one that you're supposed to perceive as romantic. I don't perceive any of the relationship in this book as romantic. Like, if I was reading this when I was age 12, which I think most people read this book when they were like 12 or whatever, I'd probably be like, this is so cute. Like, I hate everyone in the world but you. That's not good though. To hate everyone in the world but the one person, that's not good. And again, I used to love these kind of books, like the hate everyone in the world but you, but now that I'm older, I think now I'm just like, that's not attractive to me anymore. I don't want that. I say older, I'm only 18. I've never been in a relationship. No one's ever liked me. I take whatever I think the greatest all, but I'm just saying that I feel like as I've gotten older and more mature, I think, and reevaluated like what I want in life and who I want in life and whatever, I think, you know, I've realized that romanticizing what Belly and Conrad have is not good, because the way they have is not healthy. And I don't know, I just feel like there's a lot of issues in these books that make me feel very protective over Belly, because again, I was once her age. I was once 15, just turned 16, and loved someone who was older and someone who did not, whatever. So I think I feel very, and that relationship just, it wasn't a relationship, but that situation destroyed my mental health for a year. Crushed me. It took me a year plus to get over him. And to finally realize what he did was so fucking wrong to me. I see my younger self in her a little bit. And I think that just makes me very much like, even though I don't like her, I'm still very much like, you don't fucking touch her because I will kill you. And I don't want anyone else to go through what I went through either. Like anyone, whether it's a fictional character or a real person. So now Belly and Jeremiah. I mean, this might be unpopular, but I feel like he loved her in the way that she loved Conrad. And I feel like he was just such a second choice for her. Even when they were supposed to be in love, like in the first few like parts of this book, it was still just like, she just seemed like indifferent towards him. Obviously, she was such a second choice for him. And I feel like, again, she went to Jeremiah because she knew that he would give her the love that she gave Conrad, that he didn't reciprocate. And I think that's obviously very unfair. I would like to talk about it. I think that whole scene made me so uncomfortable because it's like very obvious that like it was supposed to be like portrayed as like what Jeremiah did was wrong, but what Belly did wasn't, because she was still in love with him. No, being in love with someone else while you're supposed to be dating / engaged to someone else, that's not okay with me personally. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I would not be okay if my partner was in love with someone else while we were together. Maybe call me high maintenance, but I think that's a little bit odd. It's a little bit weird to me personally, which is what makes me think that he had to have loved her the way that she loved Conrad. You see what I'm saying? Also, the whole proposing thing, that I can't defend him on that. You're on your own, kid. Ooh, wow, that was horrendous. Also, if you propose to me in our college dorm, that's funny. That's hilarious, because what? Absolutely not. This is not, please, what are we, 5? Okay. Anyway, like everyone's already said it, everything that's had to be said about the marriage. Like, that's just ridiculous. And I think it was a really stupid plot line, and I felt like it just really was, it was just weird and like unnecessary. And like Belly, the entire fucking time, Belly clearly did not want to get married. She was complaining about it. She procrastinated about everything. She clearly didn't want to get married, and Jeremiah clearly didn't care about marriage. So no one liked that marriage. No one wanted that marriage. No one did. So, you know, not really sure about that. If people are against you and you want to get married, get married. I don't give a fuck. Do whatever the fuck you want to do. But if you yourself are against it, that's when I'm like, babe. And obviously she tried to say that she wasn't, but it was very obvious that she didn't want to get married. And she didn't want to get married to him, to Jeremiah at least. So funny. And I think it's like to me, it clearly seemed like Belly was like trying to prove to Conrad that she loved Jeremiah more. She's like, well, I'm getting married to him, so LOL. And then it seemed that like Jeremiah seemed to want to prove that he loved her enough to remain loyal under the law or whatever. Because why else would you propose to someone right after admitting that you cheated on them or whatever he did? To me, it just seemed like they were both doing it to prove something to other people, which is obviously absolutely not why you should get married. By the way, by the PSA, you should not get married to prove something to other people, okay? By the way. It took Conrad years, as in like calendar years, as in like the sun, the earth going around the sun. It took him years to admit how he felt about Belly, to finally admit to her that he actually cared about her all along and whatever. And he did that the night before her wedding to his brother. Please, you are so funny for that. Go swim the ocean. I can't deal with this right now. Go swim the fucking ocean. I can't. And then again, this drove me up the fucking wall. And then the morning after, he said he was drunk and he didn't remember it. Oh my god. Oh, what, are you kidding? This made me so angry. I was like, you can't. It was your fucking choice to confess your love, and then when she said she didn't feel the same way, Or she said that it was too late. He was like, oh, I was just drunk. Oh, that's so manipulative. Do you understand how that is nuts? What you tried to pull there was like some like top tier levels of manipulation. Like, I can't even, what? I'm so sorry. What? You can't break someone's heart over and over and do everything in your power to make them hate you, not see them for years, ignore them, leave them hanging, whatever, then come back into their lives or before they get married and claim it was them all along. Like, that's not how it works. I don't understand. Like, I'm sorry. I cried for years over you. I did everything to make you love me, and you still pretended that you didn't. That's emotional manipulation. I don't know what Conrad's issue is at this point. I don't know. It goes beyond the trauma. I don't know what his issue is, but it makes me so angry because it's like, you can't fucking do that. That's so disrespectful, not only to your brother, but to the girl that you claim that you're supposed to be in love with. You're supposed to be in love with this girl, and you treat her like this? Wow. You treat her like you hate her. So I'm sorry, I got confused. Anyway, I'm gonna finish this story. I'm gonna finish this series just by saying what I want the characters to do. So, Conrad, therapy for everyone, actually. Multiple times a week, intensive therapy, actually. Spend a few years single, Conrad. You need to work on yourself. Find out what you're truly passionate about. Is it really, med school or whatever? Is that really what you want to do? I don't know. Make some friends. Live a life. Live your life. You need to stop carrying things, which again, you'll learn this in therapy. You need to find out who you are as a person. Because I really don't think that you know, which is okay. Go to therapy. Start journaling. Daily journaling entries. Yup. Write letters to your mom or something. I don't fucking know. I don't know. I'm not gonna give you advice about your father because I don't really know what you want to do there. I don't know. It's up to you. Give Jeremiah some space because he basically ruined his fucking life. But try to work in that relationship as well, because I think they have, they seem to be very close. So you seem to be close with Jeremiah. Work in that relationship. Jeremiah, drop the frat. Try to take school seriously. Join some different clubs. Try to branch out. Find what interests you besides beerology. Find what interests you in school. Find your passion. I don't think you know what your passions are. I don't think you're really aware of them. Spend a few years single. Grow up a little bit. Therapy will help you with that. Go to therapy. Belly. Go to therapy. Transfer schools. Get as far away from these boys as possible. As far away. Again, I'm at this point continents away, please, because I can't have you near them because they're toxic to your heart and your life, and they ruin everything. I know it's gonna hurt, Belly. I know it's gonna hurt. Because the only way for you to heal from not only the death of Susanna, but from the death of what could have been and what you wish had happened. Because clearly the opinion, the image that you have of these boys exists only inside of your head. And it's so hard. Again, it's what Ariana Grande said. It was all in my head. Like, in your head lyrics here inserted, basically. Like, the truth is, these boys will always let you down. And I know it's hard to hear. I know. Because believe me, I've been so in love before that I would literally break my body in half to defend someone that I cared about. But they will always let you down because they have so much emotional baggage and issues. And again, I'm not saying never love someone who's broken. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying in this case, they clearly are incapable of that right now because they have so much they need to work on themselves, which is okay. That's okay. It's okay to step back from relationships because you need to work on yourself for a little bit. That's admirable. That's good. I'm proud of people who do that because not enough people do that. People try to fill up their sadness with relationships, which is absolutely the worst thing you can possibly do for both you and your partner. So please, transfer schools, Go to therapy so you can become more assertive and independent. Because Lord knows that this girl has codependency issues. I can't even begin to talk about it. And join the swim team. whatever school you go to. Keep in touch with Taylor and Annika because they have your back. For real. And then go make some new friends. Make some friends who don't know your past with these boys. Make some friends who don't know about the whole Fisher family and everything that went on with them. Find some friends who have no idea what the fuck they are. Work hard, graduate college, and live a life, Belly. Please, I want you to live your life because that's what you deserve. Like, I'm literally begging at this point. Like, please, I need her to just completely cut contact. I know it's gonna be very, very fucking hard. I know it's gonna be very, I don't pretend, that's what I did. Only fucking way I could possibly think about moving on and living a life that I deserve. Because unfortunately, you can't care about others more than you care about yourself. And I think that clearly Belly cared way more about these boys and Susanna and everything way more than she cared about herself, which is why she kept putting herself second. And you can't do that for your entire life. And it makes me sad. Like, I'm literally crying because I think that even though I think she's a very annoying character, she deserves way better. And it makes me sad. Like, and I see myself in her. And I know there are tons of girls and boys and anyone younger that has been in this situation before. And no, you have to live your life for yourself. You have to. Anyway. That's my video about Somewhere I Turned Pretty. All 3 books. I didn't like to talk about the show very much, but I mean, honestly, I like the show. I mean, any issues that I have in the books that are also in the show, it's the same. Like, I feel the same way about it. Like, but although I'm really, really loving season 2 so far, mostly because Steven and Taylor are my faves. I feel the same way about them. People feel about Belly Conrad. Steven and Taylor is literally I'm obsessed. Taylor's my bitch. I fucking love Rain Spencer. I would die for her in an instant. Lola Tong's also so fucking talented. Everyone else is cool. I'm just kidding. I'm so sorry. There's a lot of really cringy Jeremiah and Conrad moments this season, as there were last season too, but especially Conrad this season. I don't know. I love you, Chris. I love you, Chris Brittany. You're doing great, sweetie. Anyway, thank you for watching. This video was so fucking long. I don't even want to think about editing this. I have a lot to say, and I appreciate you guys for letting me rant. And if you made it this far in the video, that is really impressive. And thank you so much. I have no words. I have a lot to say, and I would love to hear your opinions in the comments below, by the way. Even if you guys don't agree with me, as long as you're like nice about it, I don't care. Like, as long as you don't call me names, I don't care if you disagree. I just want to know your opinions because I'm actually curious, because I feel like everyone, like, I've seen the Goodreads opinions, I've seen Twitter opinions. Like, I feel like I know where my opinions differ from others, but I want to know if anyone, like, especially after watching this whole thing, if anyone's opinions have changed. Not that I'm trying to like influence anyone, but I'm just curious. Like, has anyone's opinions changed, or maybe have you become even more severe? I don't fucking know. I would love to know. Let me know. Leave me a like and leave me a comment, and I would love to like talk about it. I just want to talk about this because this series made me so angry. I literally would rant to my best friend about this for like a half hour last time I saw her. I was like, I don't think you understand. She's just like, what the fuck? So let me know. And yeah, these are years of my life taken off. I wrote one of my Goodreads comments that reading these books was a labor, not of love, just a labor. I stand by that. Just a labor. Nothing good here. Anyway, but thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys next video, and mwah.